Alright, this is video 8 of my theory on the Benet Ramsey murder. I'm not an investigator. I'm not a cop. I'm affiliated with no law enforcement agency. I'm just a nobody. So, here we go. Regarding the autopsy report. The front page of the autopsy report, which states that, according to CNN, which you want to believe is a non-compromised network, but could actually be, the time of death and the date of death of Benet Ramsey is listed as December 26th, I think at 1:36 p.m. I have a copy of it. I think that's what it is, 1:36 p.m. Roughly 8 hours, just under 7 hours after she was reported missing. Now, she was found on the third sweep of the house after roughly almost 8 hours of being missing by her father, who was pacing, waiting to pay the kidnappers with a credit card, as it is. Okay. And the police told him to go search for clues while they made sandwiches in the kitchen. And his father found his daughter's body on the third sweep of the house. Not on the first or the second sweep, but the third sweep of the house. Right? Okay. So, the autopsy report states that her time of death and date of death are December 26, 1996 at 1:36 p.m. Here we have 3 6s. If I'm correct about the time, it could be 1:38. All right, so you can scratch that if you want. Numbers and codes are important here in things like this. They could be laughed off as coincidence, but coincidence only goes so far. Now, that's not when she was killed. She was killed on December 25th, as of course her gravestone says, December 25th. And there seems to be some discrepancies, a lot, of when she was killed. And which you'd think that such a case like that, there'd be no question, because it's not that hard to determine time of death within an 8-hour time period, especially if you are the chief medical examiner. It's not that hard. So, the autopsy report has her date of death and time of death listed as the time she was found, not when she was killed. There you go. That's suspicious in itself, isn't it? It should be. If it's not, to you, it should be. Especially to CNN. So, okay. Last thing. Here's another coincidence, or as we used to call them when I was a child, a coinky-dink. It happens to be just under 8 hours that Benet Ramsey's body was found. It just so happens to be that about 28 years later, or 26 years later, in November of 2022, at the Moscow, University of Idaho student murders, they waited just under 7 hours to report the bodies. The bodies were found by law enforcement just under 7 hours after the murders took place. Just saying.